Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 punk rock guitar riffs. For this list, we'll be ranking the most memorable and genre-defining riffs from the world of punk rock. We'll be primarily sticking to the classics here, which means that pop-punk artists such as Green Day will be saved for another time. Number 10, Pay to Come, Bad Brains. Here we've got this blistering track from Washington, D.C.'s Bad Brains, the seminal band who are often labeled as one of the progenitors of hardcore punk. Pay to Come was released as a single in 1980 before appearing on the Bad Brains' self-titled debut 2 years later, and it absolutely rips with a frenzied intensity and to-the-point arrangement. Guitarist Dr. No shreds with manic abandon as he unleashes a riff that is guaranteed to have arms flailing and fists banging to the Bad Brains' unique power and wild energy. Simply stated, Pay to Come is a hardcore punk classic. Number 9, Ruby Soho, Rancid. We move from the manic and aggressive to the melodic as we fast forward about 15 years to the sound of Berkeley, California's punk rock favorites, Rancid. Ruby Soho kicks off with an instantly memorable set of chords before guitarists Tim Armstrong and Lars Fredriksson rip it off with an anthemic chorus section that practically begs to be sung loud and proud. Rancid may not be the rawest punk rock band on the block, but their songwriting chops speak for themselves. With Ruby Soho being a near-perfect distillation of their talent and vision into one quick, almost 3-minute punk masterpiece. Number 8, Amoeba, Adolescence. The sound of Amoeba and the Adolescents is the sound of sunshine, surfing, and skating, a trip back in time to the early California punk rock scene. Amoeba kicks things off right with that amazingly catchy chorus riff, a sing-along type lick backed up by Tony Cadena, more often known as Tony Reflex's snotty vocals. Rick and Frank Agnew were already ahead of their punk rock peers at a young age, and Amoeba showcases this by including not one, but 2 sections for the pair to pull off some impressive solos. The best thing about Amoeba, though, is how timeless it is. The track still sounds as infectious today as it did in the early 80s. Number 7, Rise Above, Black Flag. Drenched in feedback, anger, and aggression, Black Flag's Rise Above is a punk rock anthem, a call to arms for the pissed and disenfranchised youth of the early 1980s. The track benefits greatly from guitarist Greg Ginn's nonchalant attitude towards any established playing technique, as Rise Above practically revels in its noisy and grating approach.
We are tired of your abuse!
The song's musical fury is matched only by Henry Rollins' influential charisma as a frontman, as the vocalist shouts along to Ginn's messy chords and distorted guitar tone.
I am gonna have my chance! Rise above, we're gonna rise above!
Rise Above sure ain't pretty, but for pissed off punk perfection, there's nothing quite like it. Number 6, Last Caress, Misfits. We've got something to say. We love the Misfits. Turns out we're not alone either, as this massively popular horror punk band continues to inspire legions of fans to this day. looking for some musical proof behind that statement, however, then we present to you Last Caress, one of the group's catchiest and most enduring songs. Frontman Glenn Danzig sings along to guitar riffs that sound like a punk rock doo-wop session. Indeed, the legacy of drive-in monster movies and kitsch culture looms big time in the Misfits' music, with Last Caress as one great example of the band's diverse influences melding perfectly together.
One last caress, we did.
Number 5. Holiday in Cambodia, Dead Kennedys. There's never been any band quite like the Dead Kennedys, regardless of genre, and it was difficult for us to narrow down just one from their diverse catalog. The enduring California Uber Alice was considered, but we ultimately decided to go with another one of their pissed political anthems, Holiday in Cambodia. Much of what made the Dead Kennedys unique, aside from Jello Biafra's inimitable vocals, was the guitar playing of East Bay Ray, which actually pulled a lot of tonal influences from surf music. Ray's work on Holiday in Cambodia, however, is dark, unsettling, and ominous, a perfect foil to Biafra's righteous lyrics and firebrand persona. Number 4. I Wanna Be Your Dog, The Stooges. It's amazing how the years can showcase a band's musical legacy, how their ideas were totally ahead of their time. The Stooges were one such band, and I Wanna Be Your Dog was one such song.
I'm so messed up, I want you here.
The track is a primal and blistering prototype of punk to come, a dried-out garage rock epic with sass and style to spare.
But now I wanna be a dog.
Ron Ashton's guitar is fuzzed out to the max, and he kicks out a simple but oh so effective main riff, a one-eyed monster that basically serves as the song's entire framework. I Wanna Be Your Dog proves that sometimes it's just best to be direct.
Now I wanna be a dog. Now I wanna.
Number 3. God Save the Queen, Sex Pistols. Bold, brash, and snotty to the max, the Sex Pistols were a revelation when they first hit the scene in the late 70s.
God save the Queen. The fascist regime.
The band helped usher in the age of punk, and it was thanks to songs like God Save the Queen that they were successful in that mission. After all, the Sex Pistols wouldn't have made the impression that they did had they not had the songs to back it up, and Steve Jones made sure that God Save the Queen had one epic riff upon which to hang its hat.
God save the Queen. We mean it, man.
It's part classic rock and roll swagger, part new punk fury, and all shocking political bombast. In a word, it's perfect. Number 2, Should I Stay or Should I Go? The Clash. Even if you've never heard of The Clash, it's still highly likely that you're familiar with the next song on our list, Should I Stay or Should I Go? Although the band's London Calling is certainly a classic punk rock jam,
London calling to the underworld. Come out of the cupboard, you boys and girls.
The Clash crossed over big time into the mainstream with their 1982 LP, Combat Rock.
Should I stay or should I go now? Should I stay or should I go now?
Should I Stay or Should I Go was a smash hit from the album, thanks largely to Joe Strummer and Mick Jones's larger-than-life riff attack. It's simple, effective, and to the point. A riff that instantly evokes images of punk rock's past at its very best.
Indecision's bugging me.
Before we name our number 1 riff, here are a few honorable mentions. Bloodstains, Agent Orange.
Bloodstains, spit kills, fast cars, cheap bills, ice girls, fine wine. I lost my sense, I lost control, I lost my mind.
Party Time, 45 Grave. 21st Century Digital Boy, Bad Religion.
'Cause I'm a 21st century digital boy. I don't know how to live, but I got a lot of toys.
Want more music content? WatchMojo produces an original podcast taking a behind-the-scenes look at all things music. The show provides authentic interviews with artists from all around the world, while also staying true to WatchMojo's roots with top 10 music banter thrown into the mix. What's the best advice Alice Cooper's ever given you? Looking back at the staying power, does it shock you?
No, we have naked pictures of the right people.
If you want exclusive interviews with award-winning artists, producers, singers, songwriters, check out Inner Sleeve.
Number 1, Blitzkrieg Bop, Ramones. If England had the Clash and the Sex Pistols, then it was the Ramones who were the American version of punk rock royalty. There was simply nothing like them in the mid-70s. A group of shaggy-haired, hyperactive punks with both aggression and melody to spare. Blitzkrieg Bop is a frantic mother of an opening track from their 1976 self-titled debut, a punk rock anthem that hinges upon 4 chords and a whole lot of attitude. Johnny Ramone's guitar tone is raw like sandpaper, but the riff's essence is never lost, even as Joey Ramone howls his rallying call of "Hey ho, let's go." It's something special that still sounds great today.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.